Good morning, everybody. Let's talk about Earth Day, but we'll give you all a couple of minutes. We're pretty set here. We got lots to talk about, kind of a bit all over the place, lots of things to consider. So let's give everybody a 2-minute warning. I'm going to grab my cup of tea and we'll jump right into it. So get your coffee, get comfy. All right, we're back. Sorry for a little delay this morning. It was a really long week, great week, no complaints. But last week was quite. We were representing down at the core, where we get invited every year to come do something for Earth Week and encourage people to have plants in their home and in their office. Talk about things they can do in their garden. And it's a lot of fun, but they do make for some long days. So I was running a bit behind this morning, and I was running all over the place, and a little bit late. I had to make some tea. In my helpful gardener's mug, and it is literally my mug. See, that is extremely hot. And it works. Oh, exactly. Right? We do stuff behind the scenes, and always thank you guys for your patience while we try and make it better, more accessible, and all the fun stuff. So, a couple of usual housekeeping rules. Anybody who's attended before will say this. As I go along, if clear or I'm not presenting properly, please let me know. I will try and clarify. Sometimes I can get lost in my own little spirals. If it's something that you want to or share. The question and answer period, what we've noted is questions and answers. Share anecdotes. Yeah, exactly. They weren't playing today though. Yeah. We had one a while ago, last year maybe, and we were talking about perennials. and somebody chimed in during the question and answer, and it wasn't a question at all. They were simply saying that they left certain flowers, even though it had died, they didn't deadhead it. They left it for the seed-loving birds to come and get food. Amazing! What a great addition. So anecdotes, stories, questions, whatever you got, we want to hear. So, Earth Day. We hear it a lot. I am one of those, cheese puppy Tuesdays, every day should be Earth Day. I try and garden like that. I'm lucky. I'll start when I started gardening in Korea. Two things: the island of Montreal. Right before I started, a couple of years prior to me getting into outdoor herbicides and pesticides. The islands easier to control. And then the guy who took me under his wing, my journeyman, who started me down this path, really believed in naturalization, really believed in a balanced garden and a balanced approach, and what we had to do to achieve that. So we really eschewed chemicals and heavy controls and whatnot, and really allowed naturalization. So that was where I got started in the career. Now, I always kind of went that way naturally, so it was a very good fit. I think that's why I maybe took to it. If I maybe met somebody who gone the other way, I wouldn't be here. I don't know. But that's kind of my start on it. And Earth Day is celebrated on the 22nd. That's Monday, and it should be a stat holiday, but it's not. But if you want to take it off, I told you it was a stat holiday, okay? Absolutely pass the blame to me. We'll even give you a soundbite. Earth Day, stat holiday. Great. Just show your boss that 4-second clip and go, what it was. This guy said, so. I'll take the blame for you guys. It first started in 1970, and the purpose of it is to demonstrate the importance of environmental protection. If we're talking about CO2 emissions, climate, plastics, whatever, heavy use of chemical sprays, industrializing, whatever it might be, that's what we're talking about. It increases sustainability awareness. A lot of people find out tidbits on Earth Day through social media. Maybe we'll see something on Insta or on Twitter, wherever. A lot of people will be using the hashtag Earth Day for whatever reason. Some people just put it there so that you're trying to whatever they post. It has nothing to do with Earth Day. They use the hashtag, but a lot of people are using it to promote something more sustainable, more environmentally aware. It's recognized in more than 193 countries. Now, I got that straight from Google. I didn't just say 194 countries. Like 193, 197, just 197. But anyway, yeah, I digress. And 2024 is planet versus plastics. So this isn't really applicable per se to our garden. However, when we garden, that little patch that we have, whatever it might be a pot on your deck, it might be a 14-acre estate, and it might be anywhere in between. We're stewards of that patch of land. We're stewards of that patch of earth, of soil. And what can we do as gardeners when we look at it? So we can look at using organics, and we have a whole webinar on organic gardening. So that's not what it's going to be about. I am going to touch on it briefly. I want to expand. We have one coming up in May. Is it May? Yep. We can change up. We can change how we look at things. I just recently did that. I'm not going to get into that now. I'll get into it when we get into that. We learn watering. Something I think a lot of people do. I spoke to a number of people this week. Everybody this year, watering, drought, water. And I spoke to a number of people this week at the floor about we Weather Network about it. um, and about how we can maximize watering and how we should approach the idea of watering, except bugs, even the scary ones. Naturalization, simply allowing parts of your garden or all of your garden to just become what they want. For me, it's my lawn. My lawn can do whatever it wants. I care less. I really, as long as it's not mud, as long as it just because then it's not even lawn. As long as it doesn't just turn into a mud bath and coming in filthy every time, I don't care. I want to my clover, my dandelion, my creeping bell, my plantain, and my grass. I want my lawn to do what it wants. It makes me happy and work with nature, not against it. Um, if we have an area of our garden blasted by sun and turns into a heat sink, and it's pretty unbearable for us, fairly certain tomatoes are going to love it. So instead of being like, oh, I can't use that part of the garden, we plant something there. Another area, it's shady, wet, it's never really that enjoyable. We naturalize that area. So we can look at what we have in our little microclimate, our little patches of earth, and work with what we've been given. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun instead of trying to control it, trying to change. Something cosmic that we really can't. We learn to work with it and we learn to accept it, and it becomes really fun. So, what is organic gardening? Because that is a real key one that we hear around Earth Day. Hashtags like grow organic, uh, organically grown. Um, and what is organic gardening? I know, and again, we're going to go in much more depth on this. So these are the skinnies. If you have questions, of course. Organic gardening is basically where we as gardeners uh, reject the use of artificial or synthetic chemicals or controls, from blanket controls. So even though something might be organic or might be safe or benign, insecticidal stuff. Great example. I'll talk about this a little bit later. It's really pretty harmless stuff. Uh, soap, soap and water kills bugs. Problem is, it kills every bug. It doesn't matter if it's yay, we want them dead. Spider mites, sure, get rid of them. But if you hit a butterfly, that butterfly isn't doing so good. If you hit a pollinator, that pollinator isn't doing so good. Um, so we really want to be aware of blanket controls, things that are just going to wipe out everything they touch. Because when we're looking at it, we like to find a balance. We use organic soil amendments, such as these worm castings. We eschew chemical herbicides and fungicides. Um, that one is very controversial. I will delve into that one a lot deeper in we shun chemical sprays and pesticides. Exactly here. And we accept some damage. We look at our garden and we see a little bit of aphid damage, or we see some weeds growing, and we go, "That's okay. That's okay. I can live with that. Everything is doing great. That's a little bit of balance. I'm okay with it." And if we start accepting it, we allow the garden to find its balance. We're good to go. Now, I know um, a number of people are interested in organic gardening. I know that because I speak to them frequently. This week, I spoke to a lot of people every year around Earth Day. I speak to people. It is a constant source of conversation where people say to me, why should I do organic gardening? How do I do organic gardening? Because they don't know. There are so many labels that say organic based, used organically, and it doesn't say 100% organic. It doesn't say this product is organic. And there's misleading. So if you say something is 100% organic and it is not, you can get in a lot of trouble from the government. False advertising, all kinds of charges they're going to hit you with. And we know we don't make any products that have that, so it's never happened to us. I've absolutely seen, I believe it's the label for the weights and measures. It's some weird branch of the government, and they will come crashing down hard on anybody who does something like that. I'm talking everywhere from fines being shut down to having your product pulled nationwide. Like they come down hard. So a real easy approach, if you're looking for something, is look for the Omri label. Okay, you're gonna have to guide me on the camera. Okay, Omri label. And Omri is the Organic Materials Review Institute. They're based in Oregon, in the US, but they do have a Canada thing. They're a non-profit. They're certified. People send stuff to them, and they look at it. So, if we wanted to make a soil, okay, if I was going to make a soil and I wanted to make an organic soil, and in my soil I wanted worm castings, and I use this, because it's already Omri certified. I have a pile of compost in the back of my garden that I want to use, and well, it's organic. It's in the back of my garden. I can't say it's organic. I don't know that it's heated to the right temperature to get rid of synthetic pesticides and what have you. I would have to send that to review. Okay, and that's what they do. There are other organizations. I think I have another one kicking around here. There's this one, yeah, and this is Coast. So there's a couple of it. Omri is by far the best known. And if you see Omri on a fertilizer or on a soil or a soil amendment, you know that you are now gardening. So that's a good way to point you in that direction if it's something that interests you. And you will see it. It's a well-known seal. We actually now, oh boy, maybe 10 years ago, people didn't maybe as aware. It wasn't that much of a concern. And now we get people, a small percentage, but now we actually get people asking if it is Omri certified. So that's always good to see. It's interesting. This is going to tie us into perceptions. And I just want to bring this up. I'm not going to call anything out. But 10 years ago, our number one selling soil amendment in that category was very much a non-organic soil at all. Our number one selling one now, it's not even close. It's not even close. Is organic. Three of our top five soils and soil amendments, the best sellers are organic, and our number one control is biological. It's not Roundup. It's not insecticidal. It's live ladybirds. Our fastest growing department that more and more people every year are asking about is lawn alternative, sedum turf, microclover. And these are people's perceptions and ideologies changing. And the great thing is that these haven't been blips. We're not seeing 1 year ladybird spike, but then we never see it again. These are active growth. We are charting this. It's one of my jobs is to chart what products are selling, what not selling, how they all blend in, what works well with other things. And we are seeing a significant growth in safer products. I don't mean safer brand, I mean safer as in organic, biological controls, lawn alternatives, things that might be a little better for us, a little better for the planet. So when we change our perceptions, what are we doing? And I'm going to talk about this because I have talked numerous times for many years. One of the jobs you do in the spring is go out and clean up your garden. And that includes pruning. So if you have branches, tree or a shrub, prune them off. Well, recently on our podcast, Andy and I were speaking to Myrna Pierman. Pierman, I got it right. And Myrna is incredible. She knows so much about birds, about wildlife in general, actually, about nature in general, and she's passionate. And Brandy, Myrna, and I were having great conversations off camera. Randy had a lot of editing at the end of that podcast, all over the place. It's so easy to talk to. And something Myrna brought up, it was just a natural thing that she was talking about that instantly changed my perception, was a dead branch. So I see a dead branch and I go, oh, not like that, very aesthetic, clean it off, better for the tree. However, a big dead branch is way better for the birds. They sit on it, they're safe, they're off the ground, they do what's called walking. They're looking for any insects in the garden they might be able to eat. They're looking for shelter, they're looking for water. If a predator bird, a sparrow or something, that they dart back into the rest of the tree, or they can fly away, they're not cramped on the ground, or they're trapped in a shrubbery. And these dead branches are essential, especially for hummingbirds. Every single picture she had of a hummingbird that wasn't in flight, it was sitting on a dead branch. Completely changed my perception. One conversation. That's all I needed for me to go, wow, have I ever been wrong? I'm not wrong in the sense that maybe aesthetically it's not appealing and we clean it up because it's dead. I am absolutely wrong in the fact that I think we're doing this great thing for the environment. One dead branch is not going to kill my entire shrub or tree, but it's going to bring a huge benefit. And that made me rethink my entire approach to that whole concept. So this isn't always bad. Leave piles for overwintering for the bugs. Leave an area of your garden that, maybe got some dead in it. Maybe it's a pile of leaves. You blow all your leaves there, and they just sit there. Nature's good with that. Nature is okay. An area full of weeds. You don't let them get out of that area, and that's why the pollinators will find you. A mess isn't a bad thing. Weeds can be our friend. Weed simply means unwanted tree. I know some people who have a 40-foot spruce that they do not want. That is a weed. Other people have a couple of dandelions in their lawn, and that is a weed. A weed is simply a plant we do not want in a location that isn't ideal. As I said, my lawn can be full of weeds. I don't particularly like them in my vegetable areas because they will drop into water. My veggies, they're not an endangered plant. I'm not going to help the species by pulling out a few weeds. And I hand weed. I've got a weeding spike here. I got a cultivator. I've got another weeding spike. I've got a cultivator. I dig them out by hand. I don't use chemical spray on them.
Yeah, how do you use that?
This is ideal for dandelions. I'm going to switch the light. You know it. You poke it down. It goes into the soil. Oh. And a dandelion root is very long, almost like and you put this down the crown of the dandelion, and you go straight down, and then you just wiggle it, and then you start lifting it. Then you grab it with your hand, and it should okay. Great for lawns because now you've left a tiny little hole, easy to overseed once you're all done, and there you go. Cultivators, we get out of your flower beds because you turn the soil anyway. You're allowing it to aerate. You're mixing in some nitrogen. So, and weeds. Here's the other great thing. One of the reasons my lawn is like an all-you-can-eat buffet for pollinators. They come and look at my flowers. Look at my tomatoes, my peppers. It's big, but all the flowers are on the inside. They're not on the end, and the pollinators don't always see them. You have to bring the pollinators into the garden so they can be like, "Oh, hey, look, there's one hidden there," and they can get it. So we can be friends. Prevention beats cure. Okay, so stay on top of your eating. Make sure your garden has good airflow. Don't jam too in so there's no airflow. Now you're starting to build up with fungal disease. Keep an eye out. If you have ladybirds in your garden, yay, celebrate them. Put out things for the bees to drink. Encourage things that you want to do in. Don't wait until you've got all of your plants are dying because of powdery mildew, and then you're using all these chemical sprays and you're not getting any balance. Be water wise. Think about conserving, about how you use water. I think up next we're talking about relearning watering. I won't go too deep into this, but look at the plants planting. You can do a lot with ornamentals, if that's your jam, that are native species. They're more drought tolerant. Again, not all bugs are enemies, even the scary ones. I'm not a huge fan of centipedes. I'm really not welcome in my garden. I love the big, sassy, fat black beetles that walk around your garden like, ooh, doo, doo. Uh, that they're great. They're an active predator. They're a dirty pollinator. Okay, so yeah, I know a dirty pollinator. I'll make a great band name. The dirty pollinators. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of spiders either. Yeah, respect them. um, Spiders. I am slightly arachnophobic, especially inside of the garden. I am better, but spiders are amazing. There are bugs we inherently don't like. I don't know how the ladybird got the PR that it got. Bright red, maybe. I don't. But it is probably the most beloved bug, and they hurt when they bite. I will never ever tire of saying that. But we've even got fun ones like praying mantis. Okay, praying mantis kids love them. Dead matter isn't negative. Things breaking down, rotting, compost piles, dead branches in your tree doesn't necessarily mean we have to clean it up. We don't have to control every aspect of nature. We don't have to control every aspect of our garden. We are allowed to allow it to naturalize somewhat. And wildlife can be helpful. People get bent out of shape because maybe there's a skunk in the garden. I get it. You got a dog, there's a skunk in your garden. It can be a disaster. I've had dogs, they were skunked, it was a disaster. But skunks also love slugs and snakes, love them. So they're gonna help birds in your garden. Okay, I know some people. I've even heard this. They're like, "Oh my god, I woke up this morning at 5:30 because of the amount of bird song." But they're waking up. They're happy to see the day, and then they want to come into your garden and eat all of the bugs. Okay, so birds, all of this can be good. I get that sometimes. Well, I don't like it. My mom, not a big wildlife fan. My mom thought wildlife could stay in the forest. We could stay here. Everybody would get along just dandy. I'm the other way. If I think there's a raccoon in the area, oh my god, I would love him to come to my garden. I got photographs of squirrels sitting on the fence eating tomatoes. I'm not going to scare them away. I've got enough to share. Um, just accept that this is part of it. If you've got wildlife and good things coming into your garden, pretty much means you've got a pretty healthy garden. Watering, the big topic this year. I have talked this subject to death. I've talked about it on. We did a seminar here in Seoul. I've talked about it on CBC, Global CTV, the Weather Network. I've talked about it with colleagues. I've talked about it with the public. And I will talk about it again because it is important. Water is essential. It's essential to life on the planet. It is essential to life in our garden. Every plant, no matter what, even cacti, need water. They need some kind of moisture. So we need to relearn watering. Some of us, I certainly did years ago. I was one of those people who would stand back here with my hose, water everything. I'm like, that's good. It is not good. Uh, Inefficient. It's wasteful. The plant isn't getting what I think it's getting. I'm like, for 10 minutes. Did I though? Maybe only 2 minutes equivalent of that water made it down to the root. By the time I hit the garage, the bricks, by the time I hit the lawn in front of my bed, how much did my plants actually get? Target your water. Get your hose towards the roots. Gentle, you don't want it on jet. Put your can down at the roots. Use root feeders. Make sure that you're getting where it needs to be. Insulate your soil. Mulches, bricks. Help keep that moisture where we need it, especially in the wind we get and the hot sun. Our soils, we can get a torrential downpour, and this isn't an exaggeration. I wish it was, but it's not. We can get a torrential downpour at noon. I'm sitting at work. It's hammering down. I live 8 minutes from here. If it's raining here, it's normally raining at my house. I get home and I have to water my plants because my garden is bone dry. It rained heavy and hard and furious for half an hour. Then the wind picked up, the sun came out, and it's bone dry. So keep an eye on that. Insulating the soil will prevent that water loss. Deep feeders are an amazing way to do that. The rain barrel, the linchpin. I should have probably started with rain barrel. That's one instantly recognizable as water-wise gardening is the rain barrel. If you look at that picture, you can link them together, lift them up so they're gravity fed. A lot of them you can attach things like soaker hoses to them, just allow the ground to soak, fill up your water can. They're fantastic. The water is a lot less minerals in than the water we get from the tap, so it's better for your plant. It's the same temperature, so you're not shocking your plant. Rain barrels are also. Soaker hoses, again, targeted water. You're just saturating the soil. They even work great on trees. You can circle them around the drip line. Don't overwater. Don't use sprinklers. And I know people don't like that. Sprinklers are the worst way to do it. They really are. You're hitting the fence, the sidewalk as it's spraying through the air. Water is literally evaporating. I mean, it's not like the droplets are disappearing. But if the droplet was this big when it came out the sprinkler, by the time it hits the ground, it's this big. Because literally the air, the heat, it's evaporating. We're hitting the foliage of the plants. Very little is getting where we need it. Sprinklers are good for lawns. That's about it. If you can target it, you have a perfectly square lawn, you do your sprinkler settings, and you're not hitting anything but the lawn, sure, it'll work for that. But anything else, and sprinklers are also fun for kids to play in. But if we have water restrictions and times and we're trying to save water, we might not want to use those things. So be real careful with watering. You keep your ground saturated and too wet. You're also then encouraging. You got standing water, and now you got the mosquitoes coming in. You've got standing stagnant water. Now you're encouraging fungal and bacteria and whatnot. You really try and keep your water targeted at the correct amount and have a healthy soil. Okay, put in those organic amendments. Get that soil nice and loose and ready to go, so it can hold and drink more water and disperse it more evenly to the plant. Feed your bed. Don't let those weeds um, leach out your water and your nutrients. Okay, naturalization. So as I said before, sure it does a mess. Go to the forest. It's I always love it. I think you'll I walk into a forest, I'm like, I love it. It's gorgeous. That flower. Oh my god. There's more. Okay. And then I come home and I'm like, oop, that branch, and I prune it off, and it's a disconnect. We go out into the forest and we see these beautiful vistas. It feels peaceful, tranquil, and serene. It's a mess. And nature loves it. Nature is great with that. Overwintering, an area that's a little messy, you let the grass get a little longer, you got a pile of leaves, beneficial bugs will love you for it. They will be in there as a hotel, hunkered down, keeping away from the cold, ready to come home in the spring, hungry, you can anything in your biodiversity, massively important. I've seen this in my landscaping days, culture, so they only plant one type of perennial or annual or vegetable, and they get a disease, a bug, and it just spreads like wildfire through the garden because it has every single thing it needs. It's already attracted to one plant, and then there's 30 more. One game on, it's in the habitat. We already talked about a pile of leaves on the ground um, is amazing. Bugs. Trees. I have a dead branch. I have a hollow in it. There's birds' nests. Birds' nests. Hang up bird feeders. Give these animals shelter that they need. Let them, find somewhere where they can hunker down and be safe. Make it through the winter, or in the heat that 38 days where it's baking hot. They can scurry off and find some shade and find some relief and find some cool ground. Very important. Messy area tends to have a richer soil. If you remember when we talked about soil, if you were part of that, if not, all of our webinars are still accessible. Right? Oh yeah. Yeah. So if you go back to the one we talked about soil, we talked about that humic layer where things are decomposing all the time. So you have some leaves and they're breaking down and turning soil, and there's leaves on top of them or in the in-between stage, fresh leaves on top of that. So that soil is becoming very, most of the soils that we see that are dead haven't been affected and they have no organic material on them. Clean up, they're just sand or clay, baked. There's nothing. There's the reason why nothing is growing in them. So having that rich soil, that diverse area is incredible. It's peaceful. And it's peaceful for a few reasons. Animals live in there, but it's also peaceful because you don't have to work. You know what I'm doing there? I am managing to make birthday an excuse for me to be smart. Let's talk about bugs. Everybody's favorite. Bugs and weeding is everybody's favorite subject. People love weeding. Remember we did that poll last year on the podcast, I remember, and the control was weeding. Yeah. Country man. I get it. But, you know, I don't mind weeding, but I can get why it can be a chore. Both good and bad bugs are inevitable. You're gonna get them in your garden. You go outside in your garden, you'll probably see a bee. You look around enough, you'll probably see a aphid. Okay. Or, if you live next to naturalized areas, I'm very close to Confederation Park. I get a lot in there. If you're by Nose Hill or Fish Creek, you're probably going to see a lot more bug activity in your garden. They're great indicators of health, good and bad. If you have a garden just filled with slugs, maybe wasps and whatnot, not a good sign that your garden is healthy. If you have a garden that's filled with bees and butterflies, dragonflies, have a nice balance to your garden. It's probably exactly what you need. So it's a good way to kind of examine what's happening. Spiders, let's talk about that again. You two spiders, great. No problem, they're there. You have 50 spiders in your garden, all in a concentrated area. You're a predator. They're eating something. What they're eating is probably eating your plant. I want to go over and look in the web or get a very powerful zoom lens far and see what's happening in their web. If you're like me, because I don't particularly want to walk up to a spider web and start poking, especially if there's 50 right now. We'll just move on. Yeah. No need to panic. And what I mean by that, you see, all right, that's cool. You see a couple of aphids, that's cool. You see a couple of spider mites. Don't overreact. Don't run out and get the chemical spray and spray everything. You will kill the good bugs. You might only see one aphid because there's ladybirds eating the rest. You cannot spray everything. You're going to kill those ladybirds. That one aphid is going to create a lot more aphids. So examine, observe. When you go out, you go, I know that aphid on this tomato, you don't see any more aphids. Damage. All right, that's it. Your treatment plan is now over. You succeeded. You see now 30 aphids and there's starting to be some damage. Maybe now we need to look at some localized treatment, some biologicals, buy some ladybirds. You're going to see all of this through observing. Observe your garden. That can be as much as stand back and look at it and be like, I love my garden. Or when you're in there weeding or harvesting, just looking at the plants, seeing what you see. Certain bugs can indicate other issues. Already talked about spiders. You have a ton of slugs. Your soil is probably very wet. There's probably an area that they're hiding in. Probably some areas that you might not want them in. So always keep an eye out about what's happening with certain bugs, where they're localized to, and what's going on. Most bugs are treatable with biological. Now, there is also picking them up by hand. And chemical sprays, they are available. I'm not going to say don't use them, okay? I'm never going to say that. If you have a huge infestation, maybe you just moved in somewhere and nobody's been gardening for 2 years, and it's just rife with aphids, you need to get it under control. You shouldn't have to do it more. Then you should be starting to work on the balance, bringing in biologicals and fixing it. Biological is by far the better. So the number one biological control, the one that we've known for centuries, is hand removal of bugs, also known as no thanks. Ew. People are like, oh no, you just want to pick them up. Sure don't. Sure don't. No, I have done it. I have grabbed a stem and taken and going, "They think yep, uh, it wasn't the only way, but you can treat the lily beetle with insecticide with Johnson and all. But yeah, the number one way was pick it off, and we tell people that you just need them be like, put it this way: people were choosing to dig the. Okay, well, you need to pick it up by hand. Okay, so what you're saying is get rid of the lily. I know very few gardeners that are prepared to go out and pick bugs off by hand. But eat bugs. The most common one is the ladybug and the aphid. Everybody knows that. That's what the picture is. Ladybird is a gardener's friend. You got centipedes, really anything, including ladybirds. Most predator bugs will eat other bugs. There are certain predator bugs. The the Aureus insidiosa product is called Oraline. Love just destroy thrips. Kills 80 thrips a day. Only eats two. Psycho. A bit of a problem there. My God, it's only this big, and I'm not a thrip. Uh, well, natural evolution to do with these bugs have grown up next to each other, much like certain plants need to be pollinated by a certain bug because that's how they've evolved together. These bugs have evolved by eating these bugs, so let them eat each other. Okay. Once there's nothing left to eat, they'll fly away and look for more food. They'll scurry away and look for more food. That's what they do. Can be done indoors and outdoors. A lot of people, when you say you can release these bugs indoors, they're like, put more bugs. I know it sounds like the way to stop your house from flooding is to put water in it. The difference is biological bugs will eat the bad bugs, then they're done. They die out, will leave, whatever. You're going to have bugs in your house. Sprays aren't going to get them all. These guys. The most famous is the ladybird. Got great PR. Doesn't need me to talk about it. Everybody knows what they are. Kids love to draw them. People have them as tattoos. You don't see too many centipede tattoos. See quite a few ladybird tattoos. And I get it. Again, I get it. I'm not scared of centipedes. I don't particularly want one crawling on me. Ladybirds are like, oh, there's a I watch it crawl up my fingers. So I get it. Nematodes. These are pop poppers. These are for fungus gnats. We have grub busters. We have ant busters. We have birch leaf miner. Better camera first. Okay. We have birch leaf miner. Nematodes are amazing. They're already in the soil. Not this type, but nematodes are everywhere. Totally, completely benign. They cannot harm us or pets or other bugs even. But if you're a birch leaf miner and these nematodes are in the soil, the forecast is not a good day for you. They work really well. Biological controls are massively effective and safe. And I get it. There's one called bracken, and you say it, like, you want me to release the wasp, and you're like, oh yes, but it's not the wasp. It's not the big hot wasp that you have to put up waspinators for. It's tiny. It cannot sting you. The stinger isn't strong enough to go through your skin, but it is very good at killing what it wants to kill. Again, it's evolution. But I get it. We hear the word wasp, our brain goes immediately to a picture that we don't like. And you're like, you want me to release a wasp in my house? Yeah, I guess I'm moving out. I will release the wasp, then I will burn my house to the ground and dig out my lilies on the way out. They're affordable and so every year I in my garden. It's fun. Most of the time they just fly away. I don't care. They go to my neighbors. Care less. They're having a good snack. It's great. Every spring I find ladybirds in my garden because I leave areas for them. I'm raking out my overwinter areas and I see centipedes flying out of there. I see ladybirds. All right, you guys made it through the winter. Go do your thing. So that's what I mean about long lasting. You buy the ladybirds, I don't know, 20 bucks, 25 bucks a bag or something. I really don't know how much they are. And you make it a suitable area for them. You know, we've got weeds for bees. Okay. Oh, so this is a bee home for solitary bees, mason bees, and leaf cutters. And you put them out, and you can see that end. Oops, one of them fell out. You can see this end is hollow, this end is clogged, And they're solitary bees, they're not hive bees, so they go out, they do their pollination, and then they crawl. That's a little, and that's where they live. I think those people can relate. Um, so make a naturalized area, make somewhere for these good bugs to live. It pays dividends. Buy them once, and they're around, and they come back. Work with nature. So we talked about encouraging birds, putting out bird food, putting out shelter, putting out water, hand weed locally. And what I mean by that is you don't have to hand weed everywhere. You might hate weeds in your lawn, hand weed that way. You might not care about them in your flower beds. You're a golfer or whatever. You want that lawn pristine, no problem. You can hand weed them there. Me, I hand weed in my bed. Some people don't. Encourage bugs. Okay, we don't want to go out. We don't want to spray chemicals everywhere. We don't want them. Example, wasps, fiercely territorial. If you have a ton of bees in your yard, you're going to get lost because wasp is going to come in and be like, nope, too much activity. The garden is dead. There's no activity. The wasp's like, this is perfect. It's quiet, peaceful. We're ready to go. That's why this works. Hang this up, like, oh, there's another nest, and they leave. So having things structured, good bugs is a fantastic idea. Shelter, food, and water. We already touched about. Leave dead branches. Again, that was my point. That is my talking point for the season. I love it. I'm going to start encouraging it. Head over winter. When you clean up in the fall, leave some piles. Leave some areas messy. Again, nature loves you for that. Gather water. Rain barrels, buckets, whatever. It falls from the sky. It's a free resource. It's better for your plants. It's easy to gather. It's better for your wallet. Win-win. So that's kind of Earth Day. What we can do as stewards of our garden, there's other things we can do. We can plant native flowers, native shrubs. We City of Calgary has an incredible program called the Yard Smart program. If you go City of Calgary /Yard Smart in your browser, you should find it no problem. Resource built with the help of a lot of local Calgarians, the Heart Society. I believe they're working on turf alternatives currently with Eagle Lake. I've talked to them about it. Brandy and I are a huge fan of that. So there are a ton of things we can do as stewards of the planet and of our garden to make things better. So I hope everybody has a wicked day on Monday. I hope it's an excellent Earth Day. Let's have some questions, some anecdotes, whatever you got.
Okay, so first of all, I have to say a shout out from our Instagram, Earth Mother Ellen tuned in. It said, good morning, Colin. Hi.
Good morning, Ellen. I took a drink of tea. It's a pleasure to have you here.
So Beth on Facebook, you're talking about what kind of bugs that you don't really jive with. Mosquitoes, and that's one that you don't really think about until they're here.
Yep, and mosquitoes, they don't bother me. It's probably one of the reasons why I don't mention them so much. Sure, yeah, they might be a good with it. I don't really react within a few minutes. Normally, I don't feel the bite anymore. I don't know if it's just years of being used to it when I was landscaping. Mosquitoes need standing water, and one of the two huge predators of the mosquito are spiders and dragonflies. So any standing water, change it regularly. So bird baths, if you put out pollinator dishes, so that's just any kind of shallow bowl with rocks, water, clean it out regularly. Don't let the pigs get in there, or keep the water moving. As long as that water is actively, you should be okay. But yeah, mosquitoes, awesome. A lot of people don't like them, and sometimes too bad for me, but they're not a prolonged thing. So I guess I was looking at it through a bias.
So I had a question personally. If you have a question, comment in the chat box answered. But the great fact is, what target?
And everything. Yeah, they are general predators. They are voracious. They are lightning fast.
Yeah.
Lightning fast. So a lot of people, if you were to like go on Google image the praying mantis, it's going to be in its position. Or you'll see the female chewing the head off the male. That's always the classic one that people like as well. But they are, and not just fast the way they strike. They are phenomenally quick. The speed they move and fly. They're hard. Like they can take a fall, and they will attack. So they absolutely will go for yeah, they are not shy. They are not scared. But but any so a carnivore will do another carnivore. Why do they tend to eat herbivores? Because it's a lot easier to attack something that has flat teeth and flat feet than it is to attack something that's pointy everywhere and wants to fight. So wolves are like, well, we could fight the grizzly bear or an elk,
Oh my gosh.
and there's a reason why they pick what they do. That is how nature has evolved. So praying mantis, they will go for anything and everything, but they are so much fun, and kids go nuts for them. I do. When we were in Greece, they were everywhere. I was picking them up and holding them.
Yeah.
One flew in my face. That wasn't awesome. That gave me a bit of a fright. But yeah, praying mantis are fantastic.
Is there any benefit to having clover in your lawn in terms of like earth conscious gardening?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. Tons of benefits. Requires less water to stay green. So if you like that green swath in front of your house, which a lot of us do, green is a very, very healing color. It's a soothing color. That's why we have green rooms, all of that good stuff. It requires less water. It also puts out flowers. So it attracts pollinators. It's an essential food for pollinators. It stays low growing, therefore it requires less cutting. If you're using a gas-powered mower, less cutting means less greenhouse gas emissions. So there's another benefit. It's a nitrate fixer, which means it cannot use all of its own nitrogen, so it leaches it out, and anything else that needs nitrogen sucks it up. So clover growing in your lawn can actually make your lawn look greener because it's giving it a nitrate boost. It's really good. In and of itself, one tiny plant, not so good. Huge swaths of it are good at sequestering carbon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so clover, it's money. I love clover. All clover is lucky clover. I don't care if it's got 3 leaves or 4 leaves. Silly leprechauns.
That was it.
That was it. Well, thank you, everybody. Just remember what I said. Monday is a stat holiday. So don't bother going to work. You don't have to call your boss or Google it. Just honestly, what I'm saying is fact. I think it's not a stat holiday, but you don't have to have that as a soundbite, okay? Have a safe one. Have a good one. Enjoy. Care for the earth. Don't forget, we have our podcast that's coming out tomorrow, right? On Sunday.
Yep.
So a new podcast coming out tomorrow. Helpful Gardeners. We've met a whole bunch of people this week, a whole bunch of new gardeners. Very exciting. Love talking to you. And we have another webinar coming up next week. So be safe, everybody. Enjoy the sunshine. We'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.